in Europe, a man by the name of Rothschild, who claimed to be Jewish, made this statement. He really didn't care who was king or ruler as long as he controlled the finance. Rothschild had 5 sons, and he sent those sons into different parts of Europe.
Yes, sir. Yes.
He sent one son to England, one to France, one to Italy, one to Austria, and one stayed at home with the father in Germany.
Yes, sir.
And they all became a part of the house of Rothschild, but through manipulation of money, the son in England grew up, and that became the Bank of England, the Bank of France, the Bank of Italy, the Bank of Austria, the Bank of Germany. These were central banks that printed the money of these nations that now were in the hands of a family that had spread out with not the intention of doing good, but the intention to become manipulators and controllers of the destiny of the world and nations.
Come on. Go ahead.
Europe had many conflicts, and the Rothschilds would finance both sides.
That's right. That's right.
What you don't understand is that war is a manipulation of money.
That's right.
You think you're fighting for democracy, a war to end all wars. Let peace reign in the earth. This is the tricky language that the wise and wicked use to trap the poor and the weak. Are you listening?
Come on.
The house of Rothschild became so strong that even when America was established, they kept through their agents in America trying to control central bank. It hurt to read of the Civil War. People in the South didn't want nobody freeing the slave.
That's right. That's right.
I was not evil when I said that 75% of Jews owned slaves. I didn't say it. You all wrote it in your history. Now wait. If you owned slaves and they were the bedrock of your wealth, you did not want America free. Many were at the root of the Confederacy and the Confederate flag yesterday as well as today.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln was interfering with something bigger than just peace and war.
Come on.
Rothschild, through his agents in America, financed the North and financed the South.
Right. Come on.
And more lives were lost of poor people who are idealists, thinking that they're fighting for these noble principles. And all at the same time, you're making the rich richer, but they're enriched at the price of your blood and the blood of your children and the blood of your children's children.
Go ahead.
See, brothers and sisters, look. There are many people in the country that know this.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
But they don't have the voice of the poor. What makes it so dangerous for me to know it and even say it is because I have the voice and the ear of poor people.
Come on.
And once you know the truth,
Yes, sir.
it's very difficult for you to go back into your sleep. So naturally, to say these things, it puts the spokesperson at great risk. Because America has been built on your backs. And if any truth comes to remove you, that's like somebody creating an earthquake. You see a beautiful building, but when the earth under it shakes, the walls come down, the ceilings come down. So that's why you have never been allowed a leader that could stay with you to speak to the masses of black people. Every time you had a leader that could speak to the masses, he was cut down. And he's cut down because the country is built on the backs of poor white, poor black, poor Jews.
That's right. Come on.
Look, brothers and sisters, in 1912, on December the 22nd, the Central Bank of America was taken over by certain families. The Federal Reserve that prints the money is not owned by the government.
Right. That's right.
Inside the government betrayal went down. And under the presidency of Woodrow Wilson, who was elected in 1912, the Federal Reserve System was established.
Come on.
In 1913. He came in 12. Federal Reserve became an act of law in 1913. And in the same year, 1913, IRS was established. FBI was established. And the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith was established. And it's not an accident that these four entities were set up in the same year, and I'll tell you why. Now, there ain't no use in you getting frightened.
Go ahead.
Because I'm doing the talking. So all you can say is, I happen to be there. Lord, I'm sorry I went. But after you know the truth, it's on you. Now, all of this is not revelation. You can find this in your libraries. I want you college students to go and study this, because all your knowledge of economics and finance is worthless if you don't know the root of this thing. Now listen. Did you know that at 1912, when Woodrow Wilson was elected, the debt of America was about $1 billion. When Woodrow Wilson left office in 1920, the debt had risen 800 times what it was when he came into office. How did that happen? Now you say, well, how does this impact on you in 1995? Can you hold on a few more minutes? Look, brothers and sisters, in 1912, Woodrow Wilson was elected. 1913, IRS is established. Why was the Internal Revenue established? Because those who took control of the money knew that they were going to increase the debt of the country. And they had to have a way to recoup the debt. So the revenue was supposed to be a graduated income tax. This is the way it was put before Congress. Which, by the way, a graduated income tax is the second plank in the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx. And when you hear the Republicans talking about taking back government and giving it back to the people, it's because the government was moving the country on a socialist trend. Oh man, look. This thing is deep. Look, Woodrow Wilson comes in, and he's going to keep America out of the war. The war started in 1914. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Woodrow Wilson's second term is in 1916.
Come on.
He's keeping America out of the war. This is the way they talk when it's time to get elected. But the big boys behind the door, they knew that the only way to increase the debt was to somehow get America involved in the war that was raging in 1914. So through the manipulation of an incident with a ship called the Lusitania, America declared war on Germany. And in 1917, the American soldiers went to war in Europe.
Right.
And in order to fight the war, America had to borrow money.
Come on, that's right. Yes, sir. Come on.
So who do you borrow money from?
Come on.
From those who print the treasury bonds.
Think of it.
Then they put interest on what America borrows. So the poor people are taxed to pay the interest.
Come on, that's right.
Moreover, 1918, Woodrow Wilson leaves office in 1920, and America, that was $1 billion in debt when he came in, is now $8 billion in debt, 800 times
Come on. Think of it.
what it was. And the interest the American people are paying. It was the war to end all wars. And in that war, many of our black brothers were arguing and fighting because they wanted to fight for America, this great country, not knowing that the whole thing was manipulated by a handful of wicked men. J.P. Morgan, the Rockefellers,
Come on.
Loeb and Kuhn,
Come on.
and Schiff, and the Warburgs, and the Rothschilds. These are Anglo-Saxons and Jews, because it don't make no difference when you get to a certain level. We don't see ethnicity, we see money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, World War I is gone. Follow me.
Yes, sir.
Now, here we are.
Come on.
Hitler rises.
Here we go.
Hitler's trying to get back what was taken from him
Come on, come on.
and the Kaiser and Germany after World War I.
Come on, teach us, teach your people.
Hitler starts moving in Europe. Ain't nobody saying nothing.
Come on.
Where are you going, Hitler? Hitler sees himself as some kind of messiah.
Come on.
And guess who financed him? See, this is what they don't want to talk about. But Warburg and Rothschild, these are Jews. And some in America financed Hitler.
Come on. Come on, expose it.
Warburg, a Jew, can travel in Europe at the height of the war, sleep in fine hotels, while Jews are being burned in ovens. Now will a real anti-Semite stand up? Now look, this is known in certain circles.
Wait.
Many young Jews don't know nothing about this. They're made to see Farrakhan as the enemy.
That's right.
Farrakhan is not your enemy.
Right.
Your people are using me to get money from you.
Come on, Minister. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Open it up.
Oh, I'm going to expose them all tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They say the FBI was set up to catch criminals.
Come on.
Well, that's true. But the FBI is a criminal organization.
Go ahead.
Oh, Farrakhan, how could you say a thing like that?
Come on.
In staid old Springfield. It's the best place to say things like this. In staid old Springfield. The FBI has been a criminal organization.
Come on.
They don't care nothing about law. They break the law to get at every black leader or white leader, anybody who can disrupt, destabilize, excite the poor.
That's right.
Under the name communism, under the name of any kind of thing they can think of, they come after you.
That's right.
Listen good now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know the FBI's history,
Come on.
where we are concerned.
That's right. Well documented. Go ahead.
Was Mark Clark and Fred Hampton criminals?
No, sir.
They were members of the Panther Party. Was Marcus Garvey a criminal?
No, sir.
Was Noble Drew Ali a criminal?
No, sir.
Was W.E.B. Du Bois a criminal?
No, sir.
Was Paul Robeson a criminal?
No, sir.
Was Martin Luther King a criminal? Well, damn it, how could you
Come on.
have streets named for Martin Luther King Jr.? And you hypocrites line up on the 16th and you take ads out in the paper to celebrate the memory of a man that the FBI bugged this hotel, worked against him night and day. Tell me I'm lying. They hated Dr. King. What is the real truth of his assassination? They hated Malcolm, and they hated Elijah Muhammad, and they hated the NAACP and the Urban League, and they worked night and day to destabilize every black organization. Now tell me I'm a liar. Let's look a little deeper.
Yes, sir.
Just bear with me a few more minutes. It gets a little hot. It gets a little hot. You know, just fan yourself. It'll cool down. Everything's gonna be all right. Don't be frightened for me. Don't even let the thought into your heart to be frightened for me. You need to be frightened for yourself. Because when they're this wicked and you don't even know it, and I want to tell you wars that they contrived, and you lost your loved ones and I lost mine over something that really wasn't anything at all. Let me tell you, World War II jumps up. Hitler was moving in Germany.
Come on.
Do you know what manipulation was being done economically to strangle Japan? You don't know. All you know is Japan attacked Pearl Harbor.
That's right. So.
Well, they did. They really did. But what would make a little nation like Japan attack a big giant like America? You ain't never thought about that. If you see a flea jump on an elephant, you got to ask yourself, is the flea crazy? Or did the elephant excite the flea? When they jumped on America, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who was considered a great savior, who introduced the WPA and the CCC and all these social programs that helped a lot of us out. I ain't lying. I have to say, as a child of welfare, that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the welfare that my mother received.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My father wasn't there for me,
Yes, sir.
but government was.
Go ahead.
I can't attack that.
Come on.
My mother was an honorable woman.
Yes, sir.
She worked as well as took welfare.
Come on.
And when the welfare lady came to our house, and these people come around and look and see what you got. My mom's house was spotless clean, and she had nice furniture. And the woman wondered how my mother could live like this on welfare. My mother took the woman in her dining room in a little nook and showed her her power sewing machine and said, I take in sewing and I clean all you floors.
Listen.
I wash all you pots and I cook all you food. They used to call me Jean in those days. She said, Jean and Alvin, get your violin and get to the piano and play for the lady. Well, when I took my violin and my brother the piano and I played for the lady, the lady said she understood that my mother wanted to make something of her children.
Yes.
I graduated high school at 16, and the day I graduated, a check came. And my mother took the check back to the welfare people and told them, thank you for getting me this far. I think we can take it the rest of the way. I'll deal with welfare reform as we close, but brothers and sisters, did you know that we got into World War II on a fluke? And we lost lives. And the debt grew because we had to borrow money. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After the Second World War was over, Japan was conquered, Germany destroyed, fascism in Italy down. But what happened? Little did you know that right out of America and England, Trotsky and Lenin were financed. And Trotsky and Lenin went back to Russia and started the Bolshevik Revolution with money from the same international bankers.
Listen.
Now when the war with Germany and Japan and Italy was over, all of a sudden the Red Army, communism, became the next threat. This is how the international bankers keep those kings and rulers that they lend money to honest. They always have, after every war, a balance of power in the region, and they finance both sides.
That's right.
Now check out, the international bankers finance the communists. Communists develop some technology, a beautiful new tank that can do this and that. Somebody comes before the Appropriations Committee in Washington, we need a better tank. But we're going to appropriate so much and so much money. You didn't ever ask, well, where the money coming from?
Come on.
They borrow more and more and more. Reagan, when Reagan came into office, America was the leading creditor nation. And in 8 years, this man leaves office and America is the leading debtor nation. How did all of that happen? You don't understand, huh? He comes up with Star Wars. We're going out in space, we're going to fight it. And the poor American people say, oh Lord, they got these rockets. Oh, we need some more rockets. So they got rockets. The international bankers financing the communists. Then we got to get more rockets. They got nuclear weapons, we got to have them. They put a man in space, we got to put 2. They put 4, we got to put 8. And where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? It ain't got nothing to do with welfare.
Go ahead. That's the key right there. Go ahead. Break this up. Go ahead.
Your little stuff that you get is a piddling compared to what government has wasted of the taxpayers' money in weapons of war. Trillions of dollars spent on weapons. And after the Soviet Union collapsed, first thing they talk about is, well, let's go and destroy, these nuclear weapons. There's a proliferation. Now all the money that you put into these big bombs, your money. You living under a bridge. Your money.
Think of it.
You're eating dog food.
Come on, think of it.
Your money.
Yes.
That they've been taken from you ever since you worked in Social Security. Now they're eating away your Social Security benefits. Talking about don't touch Social Security. They've already raped her. Like Malcolm said, she been took. She been had. She been bamboozled. They got your money and gone. And they're betting that you are not going to even live to collect Social Security, because now they're talking about raising the age limit.
That's right.
To 70 years. Boy, this thing is tricknology.
Yes, sir.
Now, we out of World War II. In more debt. Communism up. More debt. China coming now. Oh, Lord, 1 billion of them over there. And they got an atomic weapon. Oh, man. More and more weapons in America. More and more taxpayers' money eaten up. Meanwhile, the roads are corroding. The bridges are falling down. The schools are not getting adequate care.
Right.
I mean, look at your country. Look at yourself.
Look at it.
Well, the communists are moving in Asia. Oh, my God. They're taking over Southeast Asia. You guys? The French got whipped in Vietnam.
Come on.
And then been few. Just a few got out alive. America said, let's get in. Let's get in. Jack Kennedy's in office. Jack Kennedy wants to come out of Vietnam.
Come on. Yes, sir.
Jack Kennedy talking about printing money.
Come on.
Jack Kennedy dead. If he comes out of Vietnam, the banker's gonna get the money. Come on, boys. Uncle Sam wants you. Come on, boys. Communism is taking over the world, boys. And the same bankers financed it.
Come on.
Keep it going.
Come on.
But now you gotta die. Poor whites, poor blacks, poor Jews, poor Gentiles,
Bust it up.
poor Native Americans. Come on to Korea.
Bust it up, Peter. Bust it up.
Come on to Vietnam.
Go ahead. Bust it open. Come on. Come on. Bust it open. Bust it
Oh,
up.
they'll give you a Purple Heart.
Yes.
They'll even drape a flag over your dead body.
Right.
Fire a 21-gun salute
Come on.
and tell you how a grateful nation. And all the time, you died for nothing.
That's right.
You died to enrich the wickedly wise, bloodsuckers of the
Go
poor.
ahead. Bust it open. Go ahead. That's right.
This is why they fear truth.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, it make you angry, don't it?
Yeah.
Think about your uncles. Think about your fathers.
Right.
Think about your cousins. Think about your people, white and black, who died thinking they're fighting for democracy. Look. That ain't the half of it. Lyndon Johnson tricked the American people into the war in Vietnam on another lie, on what is called the Tonkin Gulf Resolution. We were in the war. Jack Kennedy trying to get us out. It ain't gonna have that. He's popped.
Go ahead. That's right. Yes, sir.
Now, LBJ is his vice president. Well, he's cool because he's our man. Because he's going to increase and widen the wall. Look at this thing.
Look at it. Bust it up. Bust it up.
So he steps in and it ain't no accident.
Come on. No accident. Go ahead. Go ahead. Bust it up. Go ahead.
He steps in the Tonkin Gulf Resolution, which is a trick. Wesley Westmoreland, we can't let him down.
Go ahead.
500,000 American troops sent to Vietnam. Do you know how much money it takes to move 500,000 troops 9,000 miles away? Do you know how much ordnance, weapons, ammunition has to be there?
Come on.
How much business is cranked up just at the thought of supporting 500,000 of our fighting men?
Yes, sir.
How many factories waxed rich, developing airplanes and tanks
Bust it open.
to fight in Vietnam? And do you know that when the Viet Cong came down on Saigon,
Watch it up.
they left billions of dollars in equipment and gold and money behind, running for their lives. And some of our family came back
That's right. Come on.
dope addicts
That's right. Yes, sir.
because they were never trained to fight people like the Viet Cong. People live underground.
Yes.
Just crawl into a hole and got little works, almost like little towns under the ground.
That's right.
You bombing them and bombing them and bombing them, and you swear they gotta be dead. And they crawl up out the ground and tear your backside up. They booby trapped. I mean, you can't imagine the hell and the horror that your children went through in Vietnam. And because the American public, getting more and more enlightened, stood against the war. And here comes our brother, Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, sir.
Not as long as Martin Luther King Jr. was trying to integrate a toilet
Come on.
or a coffee stand or a hotel or a motel, he was a good nigga. Oh yes, that Martin Luther King Jr. is just a wonderful man. What is he saying now? That we should come out of Vietnam?
Come on. Here it is.
Wait, he's meddling.
Come on.
Niggas are not supposed to talk about international affairs.
Wait.
Stick to the Negro stuff. Don't dabble in international affairs and geopolitics. The FBI went to work.
Yes, they did.
They killed him
Yes, they did.
because he was interfering with the war.
That's right.
Big business, big money. He's dead. Bobby's dead. Jack is dead. Anybody that interfere with their global ambition. But I'll be damned if you're gonna kill me. You don't know the wickedness of your government. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti the wickedness of government that masquerades as righteous men looking out for the American people while they're sentencing you to death. Soviet Union is gone now. Well, what other war can we create? Let's see, we got to keep this debt going up.
Come on.
But bankers, don't you have a heart? I mean, the country's $4 trillion in debt.
Oh, trillion.
To service that debt is nearly $350 billion a year. You only take in $1 trillion in taxes. Over 1/3 of it is paying interest on a debt.
Think about it.
So if Clinton, who put a budget before Congress of $1,600 billion, which means that if he cuts taxes, Lord, y'all got to understand this language, man.
Come on.
They're talking about cutting taxes. They only get $1 trillion in taxes. If they cut taxes, now they raise the budget from 1.5 to 1.6 billion. Then there's $1,600 billion. So you got $600 billion more than you take in taxes. So you got to borrow money just to see your budget through.
Come on.
So by the time this man leaves office, the debt may be $6 trillion. Which means that whatever you're taking in taxes has to go to service the debt, so America then is bankrupt. Now the people who want a one world order, look at Bush's crazy self. Bush talking about a new world order. What is the new world order? See, it started with the League of Nations. Then it escalated to the United Nations. Now it's a new world order. And in a new world order, power has to be taken from every nation of power so that they will bow down to a new power. You don't hear me?
Yes, sir.
America is being stripped of power.
Yes, sir.
The sex revolution. Y'all got your head in your pants.
Come on.
And these people are taking the world over while you looking at your genitals.
Come on.
Are you listening to me? I'm not being vulgar. I'm telling you what's happening to your world. Alcohol. Who are the families that control the alcohol?
Come on.
How did the Kennedy family become rich?
Yeah.
Who is Meyer Lansky and Dutch Schultz?
Yeah.
Who are the Jews that are behind the crime and the drugs, as well as Anglo-Saxons? Talk to me, damn it. The Bible don't tell you Jews to be drunkards. Why the hell you create the damn liquor? And ain't one rabbi pointing out these liquor barons.
That's right.
Where's the righteousness of you? Why don't you stand up for the law that God gave you through Moses? Why don't you say to David Geffen in Hollywood
Come on.
and these corrupt Hugh Hefner, Playboy, and Hustler magazine, these are your brothers. Why don't you righteous Jews speak out and condemn them like you want every black man to condemn me? The ADL is a gangster organization.
They are. Wait.
I'm not talking about the little Jews.
That's right.
I'm talking about them big ones at the top. Their duty is to protect the international bankers. That's why they were set up. And the moment I mentioned the international bankers in my Savior's Day address, the ADL took out a full-page ad in the New York Times condemning me as an anti-Semite, but they never said that what I said was a lie. Who is Paul Max and Felix Warburg? They don't want to meet me face up in no argument. You can't win in no argument with me.
That's right. Can't be the truth.
Not as long as I stay on the principles of truth. You can't win with me.
That's right.
So you go behind my back. Go to college presidents. Tell them don't let these Nation of Islam speakers come on the campus. What are you afraid of? I thought you had taught the people truth. Well, if you made your students so wise, what are you afraid of Nation of Islam ministers coming there for?
Go ahead.
Iran and Iraq, two Muslim countries, went to war with each other. Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, sheikdoms and a kingdom, set up, by the power of the British.
Yeah.
They do all these things to create mischief. Kuwait is in fact the 19th province of Iraq. Did you know that? It's really true. But the British, when they set up the sheikdoms, they take some from this, knowing that later there's going to be a border dispute. Then the bankers come finance both sides again. That's why there's all these border wars in Africa. The boys have fixed it. Do you hear me? The sheikdoms and Saudi Arabia were so frightened by the rhetoric of Imam Khomeini. America, sitting in the back, sending Saddam Hussein money. Saddam Hussein has become the big military power in that area of the world. Did you know that? Saudi Arabia gave them over $50 billion in their war against Iran. Then when the war came to a stalemate, Iran as a military power was just about destroyed, but Iraq still had juice.
That's right.
And America didn't want Iraq strong with Israel there. Iraq built an atomic plant. And the moment it was built, the French built it for them at the cost of billions of dollars. The moment it was built, Israel bombed it. All that money going down the drain, man. The world don't say nothing. This is some deep stuff. America and Russia selling the black world arms. Everybody buying guns. And they give you the worst in their stockpile. The high-tech weapons, they don't give you that. That's why there's weapons in the black community. Some of them weapons you shoot here, the bullet goes there. They've given you crazy guns.
That's right.
You drive by shooting, you think you're shooting at your brother over here, you kill a baby over there. So how did that happen? I aimed over here. They give you the worst in the stockpile. Stuff that has defects in it, but you don't know the defects because you're not an arms merchant. But the arms merchants are waxing rich all over the world, selling third world nations antiquated weapons that you can kill each other with. Well, you sure ain't gonna kill them with those antiquated weapons. America got high-tech stuff. Iraq felt they were ready now. The American ambassador told the Iraqi government that was having a problem with Kuwait, that it wasn't their problem. So Saddam moved his troops into Kuwait. Margaret Thatcher leaves England, meets with Bush in Denver, and in the next few days he said, I told Saddam has to get out of Kuwait. But you told Saddam he could go in. Now Saddam is in, Saddam don't want to get out. Now check this out. He gets the whole United Nations to back him. I was in Baghdad. 3 days before the bombs fell, I'm in Baghdad. What in the world am I doing in Baghdad? They invited me to a conference of revolutionary mullahs, revolutionary, they call them, I can't think of the name, of the Islamic scholars. And I'm sitting there, and I know this is rough. And they want me to speak, and I'm telling you the truth, I'm really a little nervous. And I don't want to talk because I'm not in agreement with the madness I'm hearing. And
That's right.
finally, my son-in-law convinced me, you got to say something. Well, I said it. I said, look, I'm just going to give it paraphrase. I said, my brothers are down in the desert. Black Christians. That's my family. They're in the desert poised to fight you. I said, they didn't join the army to fight you. They joined the army because there were no jobs available. So the army was a way out of unemployment, and they didn't have to get involved in crime. And so now here they are in the desert. And here you are, my Muslim brothers, poised for war against my Christian brothers. And then I railed on them.
That's right.
Told them your problem is not Israel. Your problem is not America. Your problem is your deviation from the principles of the Quran laid down by Prophet Muhammad. As God is my witness now, I'm in their house.
That's right.
But don't ever ask me to speak. If you don't want to hear the truth, I really don't care nothing about who you are.
That's right.
Because there is no king, there is no ruler, there is no potentate more powerful than God.
That's right.
So if you want the truth, then call me.
That's right.
And I'll tell it.
Yes, sir.
They were talking about holy war.
That's right.
I said, holy war is not for Saddam. Holy war is for Allah.
That's right.
I said, you can't use Allah when you got a political problem. Now you become a Muslim. And when that problem is over, we never hear you say, Allahu Akbar.
That's right. Come on.
They talked about the man in Kuwait as having 140 wives. I said, well, that may be pretty bad. I said, but what is worse, a man having 140 wives, or you starting a war with another Muslim nation causing 1 million young Muslims to be killed? Which one is the real hypocrite?
That's right.
I said it.
That's right.
I said they're poised and Bush is not going to back down.
That's right.
I said, now, if you empower me, I'll go back to America and have a conference with Bush and tell him that you, as Muslim scholars, have decided that this war should stop, and you, as Muslims, should use the Quran to settle the differences between two Muslim nations. Well, you know, the international bankers ain't gonna hear that. Hey, listen, do you know Saudi Arabia, for the first time, had to borrow money after that war? You know who benefited from the war? America said, you know, in Congress, we came out of this one with a plus. Do you know what happened? They set all the oil fields on fire in Kuwait. Who could put it out? Here comes Jim Dandy to the rescue. And the Kuwaitis had over $250 billion in American banks, and it took almost $190 billion to rebuild Kuwait. So America won it all the way around. Now Saddam Hussein is under such constraints that he's no longer the military power that he once was. So Israel cannot be threatened so much by Iraq, nor so much by Iran. And America has a presence in Saudi now that she never had before. Right. And I mean, everything seemed to be working in her favor. Look, brothers and sisters, this thing is so serious that America really, really, really is being undermined. Right. Not by Louis Farrakhan, but by those who want to weaken America so much that you find revolution in the streets. And I'm saying this, if they cut out any help to the poor are going to revolt. And I'm not talking about poor black people. The whites of this nation are exceedingly angry. And they are more and more dissatisfied than you've ever seen white people in a long, long time with government and with politics. That's why they're not voting anymore, because they don't care about this anymore. And they're angry as hell because they see the country being taken from them. And they are armed and dangerous.